Hey, it's Zach. I just wanted to put out a little disclaimer before the episode starts. We made a bit of a sound boo-boo this week, and there's going to be parts of the episode that sound a little bit fuzzy and a little bit loud. It's particularly bad at the beginning, and it gets better throughout, so we hope you'll bear with us, and please forgive the mistake, and get ready for a very funny, very heartfelt, very, dare I say, arousing episode of The Meet Cute. Probably not that last one unless you're like a sicko of some kind. But either way, sorry for messing up and bringing you a less than 100% optimal audio experience. Either way, hope you enjoy the episode, and I love you more than you'll ever know. Hello, and welcome to The Meet Cute, where we talk about all things romantic comedy, but mostly the bad ones. I am Zach.
I'm Haley.
And I'm Edward.
And we have a super special guest with us today to talk about what is an incredible film. She hosts a live show called The Roast of Your 15-Year-Old Self, and she's a writer for Betches. Give it up for Alise Morales.
Hello. Wow.
Yay.
Applause break.
Oh, they're clapping at home.
Okay, great. If you're not
standing,
I can tell. I'm so excited.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
This is,
Wow, the opportunity to rewatch this movie was... it was an opportunity I wasn't expecting, and it was an opportunity that I embraced.
In the email, I was like, because I was thinking, like, this should be a fun one. So I sort of said, like, oh, we want to do The Prince and Me. And you were like, thank you for the opportunity to rewatch The Prince and Me.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I like how you sent an email because I imagine, like, Dear Sir.
To whom it may concern.
It was a handwritten letter. I sent it in, like, July. And then it just got it.
Fondest Zachary.
I was actually just sitting near an open window, and it just dropped in my lap.
we've been working on training pigeons for a long time.
Is this how all podcasts get their guests? Because it's so inconvenient. But yeah, thank you for coming in. Tell us a little bit about The Roast of Your 15-Year-Old Self, because that is such a funny show idea.
So it's basically exactly what the title says. Comedians come on and they show, most of them show a variety of pictures. Some people have like videos, some people have old poems, all sorts of stuff from their high school years, and they just roast themselves. And I started doing it because I was like a horrible emo teen, very active on MySpace, kind of the whole thing. And I had this like treasure trove of old MySpace photos that are truly unbelievable. So I was like, how do I showcase these? How do I get these out to the world? So I've been doing it for like 3 years now, and I started like I've done it in a couple of cities now. We're going to go to DC tomorrow as of the day that we're recording, so it'll have happened in the past by the time you guys hear it. And then we do it in New York semi-regularly, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Everybody has, the thing about the show is like everybody has something, like, and if you don't, something's wrong with you. If you're like, no, I was really great as a teenager and I did nothing embarrassing, it's like, okay, then you're embarrassing now.
Right.
We all
the same as you were. Yeah.
We all have those moments where we'll remember something we did when we were like 14 and be like, oh fuck, I can't think about that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, no one can know.
And the show,
It's me consistently, yeah.
I think the show gives you a chance to kind of like say them out loud and like demystify them. Like I read my old Harry Potter fan fiction during the show.
Go on.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
So it was very long. It was 39 chapters long.
I think that's longer than the longest Harry Potter book, so congrats.
So this fan fiction, are we familiar with Order of the Phoenix, the fifth Harry Potter book?
Edward is Zach.
I saw the movie.
Okay, great.
So
As long as you've seen the movie, you'll get kind of where I'm coming from. So my fan fiction was exactly Order of the Phoenix, except I am there and everyone wants to be my boyfriend. And that's the plot of the entire thing.
So were you just like adjacent to Harry all the time? Was it
Yeah,
just, okay.
it was just all of the scenes rewritten so that I am present in them. Like, it's insane.
Okay, so which Harry Potter character did you want to be your boyfriend?
Okay. You know what? There was a lot of stuff going on.
Sure.
There were a lot of people on the table. Obviously, in the plot of this story, I've known Draco Malfoy since I was a young child.
Yes.
And so I have a fondness for him, but I have to kind of come to terms with the fact that he's evil now. So we don't ultimately date. And then in the end, not to spoil it, but in the end, I end up with Harry. Shocking.
Oh.
But I have a thing with George Weasley for a while, and he like really puts in a lot of work. But at the end of the day, it's me and Harry.
It's got to be you and Harry.
Yeah.
Now, why George and not Fred?
I always felt more drawn to George. I don't know why.
Well, I have good news. Come on in, George. Hello.
Oh my God. You look horrible.
Oh, I'm a twin.
Oh my God. You've let yourself go.
He's so tall. I love how in this case, any twin walks in and is like, I'm a twin.
Twin.
Yeah.
Just so you know, there's another guy like me.
Yeah, announces it immediately.
Yeah, so if you turn around and there's another me, it's not just me with a mirror. It's a twin.
I was at a party with someone that I forgot was a twin once, and there was an award that she had won, and I was like, "Hey, congrats on the award!" And this person was like, "No, I'm the sister." I was like, all right, bye.
Okay.
Oh, good.
All right, well, tell your sister congrats.
Okay, well, never met you. Bye.
There were these twin girls at my high school, to keep in keeping with the high school theme.
Yes.
And there was like a period of time, I think it was right after Britney and Madonna made out at the VMAs, where like a lot of girls were making out at lunch.
April 13th, 19. I don't know.
Exactly. A lot of girls were like making out at lunch, and this was like a thing that was happening a lot. It was
my
kind of an
God.
epidemic of girls making out at lunch. And then these two twins made out.
Oh,
and then
no.
everyone was kind of like,
Darn.
this has gone too far. Like we was like, well, I guess this is done.
That's the type of stuff that they remember. And are like, no one can know that doesn't already know.
I know. And they're like, you know what? Everyone's forgotten that. And then like, I'm talking about it on a podcast. Never, ever, ever forgotten for the rest of my
Just real
life.
quick, what were their names? Their full names and addresses?
Oh my God, I do remember, but I will not say.
If you would have started, I would have been like, we'll edit this, we'll edit this.
I know. It's actually like, it's hard. They have like a very good twin name, and it's been hard for me not to say it because it is like I'll tell you off air, it's like catchy.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited. We'll do a Patreon where it's just us saying, we just say the name for $20 you can hear.
If you donate to the Patreon, you guys can find out the
The
name
only
of your
option they have. I didn't even listen to that episode.
So why don't we dive into this film?
Which we have talked about the opportunity to watch this film, but we have yet to actually say what this film is. We watched the 2004 romantic comedy, The Prince and Me.
Stunning. Wow.
Okay, so there are thoughts going around. I have seen The Prince and Me because I was a girl in 2004. And there were so many things in the movie that I like remembered, and I was so excited when I saw them again, and then things I totally did not remember at all that I couldn't believe happened.
Same. 100.
Yeah.
I feel like I forgot, honestly, like everything except that I was like, this is the one where Julia Stiles becomes a princess.
Yeah.
And I forgot truly everything else that happens. Mm-hmm. I remembered like her dancing. She does that little dance.
when she's cleaning the tables. Yeah, we'll get
and
there.
her fancy dresses.
Yes.
And that he's very handsome.
Yes.
And that was kind of, I've forgotten a lot.
I have, and when we go through, I'll let you know what I remembered and why. Let's hop into it. First off, this is starring Julia Stiles, which we talked about. Luke Mabley?
Mabley, I think.
Never seen him before or since.
What is he doing these days? And also Julia Stiles. I asked these guys earlier, but
Okay, so Julia Stiles. First off, Julia Stiles should be in every romantic comedy. I stan Julia Stiles. Is that what the kids are saying?
Stan.
Yeah.
Stanley.
Stan. What does
Yes.
that mean?
It's like it comes from Eminem, that song Stan, where he's got the super fan who
When
like,
he's like, You never write me back.
Yeah. He's like,
Oh, is that what it
yeah.
is? I thought it was a portmanteau of stalker and fan.
That's what I always thought, but it's actually derived from Eminem's
Okay.
Stan.
Wow.
Fascinating.
Thank you, Eminem.
As always, thank you, Eminem.
Yeah.
At the end, I think Stan
Is the meat
kills
cute?
his wife and child. It's fine.
That's the only wrong thing that Eminem's ever said in a song.
True.
Oh, wait.
True.
He's like 50 and still doing it.
Yeah, I know. Very sad.
We have another surprise, though. Come on out, Marshall.
Oh my God. Julia?
Knife.
Knife twin. I'm a twin.
I'm a
twin.
Oh God, it's going off the rails. We got Eminem, he's a twin. And he's got knives. Oh God, Julia Stiles. We were talking about Julia Stiles and how she should be in every romantic comedy, and I stan her. And she was just the right amount of like pretty and normal and unique, and she had that like low voice. Man, oh man, I loved her. I wanted to be her.
And
She
she's
was
so like
cool.
She's so like sassy. Like
Yeah.
she's like she. I felt like this role that she plays in The Prince and Me had a lot of 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
Very
like,
similar.
Like the characters had similar vibes.
Yeah, and that
Like-
might just be like a Julia Stiles. Like,
This is
yeah,
her when she
thing,
went
yeah.
to college, more or less.
Yeah.
After
Right,
Things I
right.
Hate About You.
Yes, that's
Yes.
how I felt about
Oh,
it.
so good.
Her hair throughout the entire movie is also mwah, gorgeous,
amazing.
perfect. The little like bob with like the straight bang.
Oh, yes.
And then it's like kind of curled in the back. It was very good.
Oh, beautiful. Also, Luke Mabley has a one-line Wikipedia
Oh,
bio.
that's so sad.
Oh my god.
Thomas Luke Mabley is an English actor.
Period.
Is that it?
Edit that right now.
You can at least say he was in The Prince and Me.
Oh my God! It also stars Ben Miller. Do we know who that is?
Yes.
Oh, we know who that is, and it's directed by Martha Coolidge.
No.
Oh, lady director.
Yes,
Love that.
lady director. I feel like that feels right
Yeah.
because I feel like there were a lot of things done right. A lot of things. We'll get into it. Let's open on this film. Let's just open on it. So we open on womanizer bad boy Prince of where?
Denmark.
Okay, so this took me so long throughout the movie. I finally figured it out, but watching the movie, I just kept saying, the Prince of where? The Prince of what? Never figured it
They
out.
say it kind of slyly toward the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like they chose for him to be the Prince of Denmark specifically so they could make Hamlet references
I
later.
think so.
Like, I think they were, because literally he's just British.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
he's,
And all the actors most of them are British as
all
well.
of them are British.
Yeah.
They're speaking English and British accents, but I think they just made him the Prince of Denmark so that
For like a Hamlet
like a Hamlet thing.
I was wondering why, other than Hamlet, why they would choose like a Scandinavian country, if only because in today's like culture, that accent is used for like comedic purposes.
Oh yeah.
So whenever anyone was like, "Ooh, Edward, wait, where are you going?" I was like, "Huh, I can't take this seriously."
Which, by the way, I thought his name was Edward, and Mom was just saying it with an accent. But on Wikipedia, it's written Edvard.
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 That's
yes.
actually my name. I've been too embarrassed to admit that, so I've just been writing an extra V.
Or is the W in your name like
It's
the
like
way
the
the
That's
witch
what I was
is?
about to say.
Edvard.
Two V's. Oh.
Okay, so anyone want to tell me about opening? Yes.
He's driving in a fast car.
Yes.
Correct? He's zooming around.
Yes.
He's covered in babes.
He's making out with two babes at once.
Yes.
He's like,
They're cool with it.
and it's kind of interspersed with Julia Stiles like
Yes.
running around trying to be a doctor. Like,
She
yes.
like this all happened in like a minute. She like was in class and then she went home and then she drove really fast around a tractor and then
She was at her friend's
she
wedding.
was at her friend's wedding. This all happened while he was driving really fast in
Yeah.
his car.
I remember feeling like the first like 2 minutes of the movie were like whiplash. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like so much information.
Yeah, so Julia Stiles plays Paige. She's like what? She majors in science in college, or
She's
she's
pre-med, yeah.
She's pre-med, and she has plans. She is like gonna go far. She's gonna be a doctor, and she keeps like kind of like digging her friends who are like getting engaged. She's like, oh, we're the last ones, and then her best friend shows her engagement ring. She's like, oh, no.
Yes, I forgot about this.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, why are everybody getting engaged? And then her friend is like, I'm also engaged.
Oops.
And they're wearing bridesmaids dresses that also include like an ascot type
Ooh.
thing,
Oh, is
which
that
I
true?
remember. Yeah,
When
they
was
had
this?
like a neck.
2004?
2004.
Yeah, there was like a neck element to the bridesmaids.
They all had to be like flight attendants right after. So they kill two birds.
Exactly.
So she has plans, and she's also bummed. Like, this is the first we hear it, that she has to take Shakespeare this semester. And she's like, it's gonna ruin my life.
she
It's
say?
so stupid.
He said, it's just Shakespeare's so useless.
Yeah.
Which is A, a dumb sentence, B, a wrong sentence, C, like an obvious Chekhov's gun sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now Chekhov.
No, come on out, Chekhov.
This has been the Meet Cute, guys.
we can't keep doing this. We can't keep bringing in guests. It's getting too
Oh
crowded
no,
in here.
I wasn't bringing the. I would
You were.
never. All right, fine. You call me Anton.
I'm a twin.
If you mention Chekhov, he's got to show up.
Life.
3 times in a mirror.
So we cut back to Denmark, and the prince is watching TV, kind of like blowing off steam because he keeps getting dragged to these meetings.
About this is so dumb.
Yes.
Go on.
He keeps getting dragged to meetings that he doesn't want to be a part of. He mostly doesn't want to be a part of his princely duties, it seems. So he's blowing off steam. He's watching TV, and Girls Gone Wild comes on
Yes.
TV.
It wasn't even that. It was called like
The Girls of Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wild
I
Girls of
wrote it in all caps.
The Girls of Wisconsin.
And it's just like purebred girls just showing Wisconsin blonde girls
Yeah.
showing their boobs.
Yeah, and one of I think the cameraman on the show said the line like, "Show me your boobs," because he uses that later, yeah, it's great.
When I was a kid, I had a sleepover one night. That sounded ominous.
They're all dead.
My father had a scotch in the back porch. I sleep over one night, and we're watching TV, and we're watching like Comedy Central in the middle of the night, and we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And at one point, like a commercial for Girls Gone Wild came on, but none of us were like paying attention. Like we didn't realize it was. My dad came down to like say goodnight or something, and he looks at the TV. We all have our backs to it and are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And he just starts laughing, and he was like, "Good night." And I turn around, and I was like, "Wait, no, this actually wasn't. This isn't like a formative moment. I didn't know that was on there."
Bonding in that way.
I was like, none of us knew.
Like, we just want to touch these cards.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I got a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I got priorities.
And he's like, "Oh, I bet you do." Wink, wink, wink.
So basically, this video was like that video.
Yeah.
Blurred out images of boobs.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take this moment, and I'll probably cut this out, that our roommate knows we're doing this, and she chooses to do the loudest thing. Drop the phone, trying her hair.
I was wondering what that beeping was.
Anyway, I'll get back into it. So Prince Edward devises a plan to go to Wisconsin for the
To
boobs.
see boobs.
Yeah.
Even though he was just making out with 2 girls, I assume he.
He could get any boobs he wants.
Yeah, he was like, I have to go to Wisconsin
Specifically
for those
Wisconsin.
boobs.
Yeah.
For those wild Wisconsin boobs.
And also, like, not just on a vacation, like, I'm going to enroll in college in Wisconsin
Yeah.
so
To
that I
see
can
some
see boobs.
Yeah.
Which he disguises as, "Mummy, I haven't seen enough of the world, and I hear there's a really good college in Wisconsin." And she's like, "Okay, go have fun with the boobs."
Yeah, it's such a wild plan.
And he has this kind of assistant. Did he get a name?
Sovereign.
Yes.
Soren. Yeah.
Soren.
He's fantastic.
I love Soren.
This
want a
movie
spin-off.
would have been 20 minutes long if Soren had just been like, "Sir, let me show you something," and he just Googled boobs. For him.
Yeah. Soren's like his male nanny butler thing.
Yes.
And his entire role is just to be like, "Sir, we can't."
Oh, sir.
Oh,
You
sir.
wacky boy.
Let me make you eggs.
Whatever you want is a yes, but with a I don't know before it, but then a yes.
So let's cut to he's at college. He's here. He's got
He's going by
a
Eddie.
roommate, and he's going by Eddie. Yeah, he's being cash. And he goes to what? It's like the school pub or the school cafe.
I guess.
He also, can I just say that as soon as he arrives, he almost hits Julia Stiles with his car. And that's the
right.
first time that they lay eyes on each other.
Right.
Fast driving.
Yes, it's true.
The place they go to, it's called the Rat, which is short for the Ratskeller, which is like what a lot of college
okay.
bars are named.
I did not know that.
I don't know how many colleges now like have like
A rat
sanctioned bars.
It
But I
was
know,
a thing.
But I know it was
yeah.
a thing like 15, 20 years ago, and a lot of them, for some reason, were always called the Ratskeller.
Wow.
Which was German for rat seller, right? Is that what he?
Oh, I don't
wasn't
know.
that wasn't it a line? Wasn't he like?
he does
I'm
tell
trying
her.
to seduce you in German.
He does tell her what it means. But I can't remember if it means rat seller.
It's something bad.
Sounds pretty punk to me.
Yeah, baby. Speaking of punk, in their dorm room was a Linkin Park poster, and I was
Right?
like, yeah.
Oh yeah, because he's got like a Wisconsin roommate
Yeah.
boy who's just kind of like an overweight guy who's like, no!
Don't touch my Xbox.
Yeah.
Basically, just for context, they get to their room. Sora and Eddie are sharing a room with a third man who is so gross.
I don't even see
Yeah.
a third.
And I don't
bed.
see a third. I said this. It's in my notes. There's no third bed.
no third bed.
Where does he sleep?
Where's Soren sleeping?
Yeah, that's the thing.
No,
Is
no.
like,
Soren's got the bunk because Eddie was like, "Hey, which bed do you want?" And then
Oh, so where's the grease ball sleeping?
He just
don't know.
sits in the
curls
middle of
up.
the room.
his literal
In his Linkin Park poster.
like every line is just him arriving to the dorm and being like, "Ah," and then he leaves. Like that's all he does.
I think he turns a corner and is like, "Why can't I make friends? I'm doing everything I saw in those videos."
He's also like obviously 39. Like, not a college freshman, or I don't know what age they're supposed to be.
No, I think
I don't
they're
know what-
supposed to be seniors.
Right?
Yeah.
Older.
Late college, yeah.
Yeah.
Late
College.
college.
She's supposed to be a senior because she's like applying to grad school.
Right. Yes, that's correct.
So she's a senior, which also begs the question: is he who's where is he in the education
I don't know
system?
how
He just
old they were
happens to
supposed
come
to
and be a
be.
senior.
How
I
did
don't
he
know.
get there? Like, did he just transferred?
Yeah, it seemed like it was like a week into the semester.
And he just shows up.
Yeah,
What's he studying?
so many questions.
Why did he need to enroll in the college to see the
couldn't he
boobs?
just stay at a hotel
Yeah,
and see boobs
and go to the bar?
Like for
Yeah.
4 days,
Right,
And
yeah.
like not a whole semester to be like there's boobs afoot.
That was a whole subplot in Love Actually. Remember when that guy was like, "I'm going to go to America and I'm going to
Yes.
see boobs," and that lasted 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
why?
Why did this have to
I
be
was
a whole
11
movie?
when this movie came out. Were boobs harder to find in 2000?
There were like 3 of them in the world,
Yeah.
and 2 were in Wisconsin.
Oh my god! So we're at the school pub where Julia Stiles works. Where Paige works as like a bartender, I guess. And Eddie sees her and goes up to her and starts flirting and stuff. And then they're like kind of like gelling, hitting it off for like at first they're sass. At first they're sass
Okay.
because it's Julia Stiles.
Yeah.
Oh wait! Before we get into the sass,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sass.
The first thing she says to him, let's see, because it was I didn't write it down, but he was like, "Hey, can I get a beer or something?" And she goes, "Can I get a beer?" And she like mocked his accent.
Yes.
He's a customer. She doesn't know him.
And she acts like she doesn't work. Like no, she acts like that wasn't her job to serve them. But then later she serves
That's
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
I
did
think
it with like,
she wants a
I'm not
tip,
supposed to
then-
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like, "Waitress, can I get some food?" And she's like, "I'm not a waitress and we don't have food." And I'm like,
My lord.
okay. Wow. But that's the thing is you're not going to, like, you can't just approach Julia Stiles.
No.
Like, that's not
No,
how
that's the
this
wrong
goes
way.
down.
But he's a customer.
So
boy.
after the sass, they warm up a little. They're flirting, and it's like looking like it's going well. And then out of nowhere, he's like, "Can you take your top off?"
May I see your breasts, please?
And of course, she gets very mad and sprays him with the club soda or something.
Yeah. She sprays him with the club soda, and the bouncers immediately eject him from the bar. Which I love. I did love. I was like, wow, Julia Stiles is supported in her workplace. Like, no one asked any questions. No one's like, why are you spraying him? They're just like, she must be right.
The
Which she was.
Isn't like, hey, why'd you do that?
Yeah, they're like, this guy must have crossed a line, which he did.
Which he did, and then they later hire him.
Yeah. That's true. But I did like the immediate support that she received in her choice to completely spray a customer with soda water.
Yeah.
Me too. I took note of that too. I was like, ooh, no questions asked. Out of here.
Yeah.
If that were the case, I'd spray all my customers.
You work at a school, so that'd be super weird. Can you imagine, like, where'd you get that?
So the two of them end up being lab partners in one of Paige's very important chemistry
Which
classes.
I think is just like adding stuff in tubes to see what color they turn.
It was
I wrote that exactly.
Yeah, it was a very like high school level like science.
And at one point, she's like, "This class is very important to me." I'm like, well, "This is like I was in science club in 8th grade when we did
this
that."
is kind of what
It's
you're
just
doing.
like, test tubes and beakers.
They're like
Woo.
making rock candy.
They like light gummy bears on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, they make that stuff where like when you hit it hard or when you hit it fast, it's hard, but then you can like sink your finger into it.
Oobleck. That's called oobleck.
Oobleck. Yeah, they make oobleck.
I do that with my students.
They did a 3-hour session on how dry ice works.
Oh, pre-med.
All of the educational stuff is very high school. Like even the Shakespeare stuff, it's like they're reading Hamlet.
Right.
And she's like,
Yeah.
I can't make heads or tails of this. And I'm like, you're a college
We
senior.
did that in 7th grade.
Yeah. And it's all very also, why does she have to take Shakespeare if she's pre-med? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Senior year pre-med.
Senior year.
To understand the poetry of the body.
Well, maybe she left all of her like classes you're supposed to take freshman year as
For
like
senior year?
extra.
That's true.
Yeah. I did that
Your
with one
gen eds?
class. Yeah, she left her gen eds.
Yeah, I left
to
my
the
gen
end.
eds to the end actually too. Some of them.
That's cool, but it needs to be addressed. Yeah, it needs to be addressed in the film.
She just has to
it.
say, like, I shouldn't have left these gen eds to the last minute. Like, even
Yeah.
that fast would have been fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get it out.
So they end up lab partners. She is not happy about it. She's like, you haven't taken this seriously. Plus, I'm mad at you for asking me to see my boobs. And he apologizes to her in Shakespeare talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's like, sometimes a man acts in a ghastly fashion. And she's like, that's cool. Why don't I get you a job at my workplace?
So yes, he has no more money because part of the deal of coming to Wisconsin was that he would be cut off.
Which he didn't quite know, but
He said it, but then like it was like, oh, he clearly has money, but then it ran out.
right, yeah.
So he needed a job, so he gets one at the
the rat.
The rats.
Rat, which also
Rat.
doubles as like the lunch place, I guess.
I guess.
They have a sandwich station, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a kitchen area.
Yeah.
A weird
Which is
cafeteria
super weird
thing.
because she made a big point of being like, there's no food here, but
There's a big old turkey slicer.
But
with
if
a
you
bunch of
want to
turkeys.
have a job as the guy to make the food so that there is some food, get back there.
Okay, now the slicer scene. I remember that
Yes.
so well. It was hot.
This is like the.
was
This is almost
weirdly
like the
sexual.
pottery
Yeah.
ghost.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
yeah.
that
That moment
movie.
where she's teaching him how to use the meat slicer because he needs to make someone a sandwich. Now, I worked at a deli for a summer, so I had to learn how to use a meat slicer. That is not something that you just send someone on their first day to do, which this guy did. He started his job and they were like, "Why aren't you making him a sandwich?" I'm like, he needs to be trained on the slicer. He could kill himself. Well, lose a finger. But that's something that
You
just
imagine
struck
continually
me.
being like, I cut off my hand. Switch. Oh, God.
my other hand.
I guess I'll use my face.
That's a tough thing to learn. It took me a few days to master the meat slicer.
Yeah, but that guy needed his turkey sandwich now.
But it's a very sensual
turkey slice.
turkey slice. See, it's like
It is.
like stuff is getting heavy between the two of them with the meat slicer.
You know, she's like supporting his
yeah,
arm, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Letting him-
touching.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where they start touching.
They
Yeah.
like picked up speed, and there were some maneuvers involved. And
It'd be hot. It'd be hotter if it didn't smell like deli meat in
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a hot job. I would end up with like seriously like meat slices in my bra at the end of the day. Just
Quit
like
bragging.
Would that we could.
Yeah, some of us have to put meat slices in our bras manually.
Oh my God. So now they work together, and she's closing the restaurant, bar, pub, whatever this place is. And they're like, Paige, it's your turn to put something on the jukebox. And she puts on a song, and she's dancing and cleaning. And I also...
Yeah. She puts on Linkin Park.
It's on like a country song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some song I've never heard.
So yeah, I've never heard this song, which is strange. Like, I don't know. I feel like it...
Was it a good song? I don't remember
I feel like it
the song.
wasn't. It was like a low man country voice.
Yeah, and she's kind of like swaying. She's bringing in some of her Save the Last Dance energy.
Yes.
She like took off her shoes.
Yeah,
and
she's not wearing shoes.
Eddie made a point of like staring at that like a half second too long.
He was like enjoying
Yeah,
watching
I thought it was a
her.
weird shot of him watching her take her shoes off. That's all.
I remember
They do focus on the feet a
thinking,
lot.
Yeah, they do. That's a little strange.
Tarantino, like,
Thurman
was an
level.
associate producer.
I remember thinking this scene was like very romantic when I watched it in 2004 or whenever I saw it. But now I'm watching it, I'm like, she's dancing like an awful lot for someone who's trying to clean up and go home.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't gentle swaying. She was doing full turns, like one too many turns.
Do your job,
for someone
Paige.
who needs to go home.
Yeah. And no shoes.
No shoes. It's still
There
gross
could be
in there.
broken glass.
Yeah, it's a bar.
At the very least, spilled beer.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's not right.
So, what happens next? Edvard asks her out. That's the next bullet I have.
Oh, right. Yeah. Doesn't he like he's like taking out the trash? Like the
Yes.
shift is over. He's like taking out the trash, and he asks her to go to a party.
Yeah, and she says she's busy.
Yeah.
Which-
She's like, I choose my career.
Yeah, she thought about it for a sec. She was like, no. And this is where what's his name,
Soren.
does a sweet burn where he's like, oh, sometimes people of a higher caliber can't date people of a lower caliber. And Edward's like, well, that's not very nice to say about her. And he goes, I was talking about you being of lower caliber or whatever. Yeah.
And then he turned to the camera and winked, and there was 20 minutes of laugh track.
I thought it was funny. I was like, ooh, sweet.
No, it was
And you
pretty
can
good.
tell
Yeah.
in this moment that this is where she's like hooked him because he's never been turned down before. No one's
Yeah.
ever been rude to him before.
Yeah. That's a theme in a lot of these types of movies, especially where a person's a prince, which there are so many movies.
So
My
many
goodness.
where it's like he's a prince.
And it's like, what? I've never gotten everything? What? I'm not saying this right. I've never been turned down before is what I mean to say.
That works.
And therefore, you are the love of my life because you were so mean to me.
Do you think when what's his name, Prince Harry, like first asked out Meghan Markle, she was like, I'm busy.
And he was like, I must have her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will pursue her.
Yeah, she did an interview once where she was like, when my friend set me up with Prince Harry, she told me she wanted to set me up with Prince Harry. And the first question I asked was, well, is he kind? And I was like, bitch, that is fucking false.
That is not at all.
No, if your friend is like, I know Prince Harry and I want to set you guys up on a date, that is like not the first question that you ask.
That's not even how humans talk. Is he kind?
Is he a kind human?
I'd be like, was he a nice guy? That's
Yeah.
that's vernacular.
Exactly. I'd be like, wait, is he the one who wore the Nazi costume?
He is. He's the bad boy. Like, we know who Harry is.
Yeah, that would be. I would be like, isn't he that one? And like, what happened with that afterwards? Like, where are we at with that?
He's a prince.
Was
He doesn't
he-
have a last name.
Was he in the production of The Sound of Music? That's the only possible scenario where
Yeah.
that's okay.
How sorry was he? What's he been doing since? Like,
Being a prince.
Yeah, and it's like, okay. I mean, I'm still going on the date. It's like,
Yeah.
you've answered all my questions. I'm going on the date. Wait, is he nice?
Oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way, is he a dick?
Is
What's
he kind?
Anyway, that's my hot Meghan Markle take.
Hot take. Ooh, that sounds like a spicy little spot to take a break. We'll be right back with the Meet Cute. His daddy is sick. The king of Denmark.
There's like a
Oh,
weird
yeah.
cutaway to show you that he's sick. Like, I think his daughter runs in the room. She's like, "What's wrong with Papa?" And the mom's like, "He's fine."
It's somehow
And then he coughs into a handkerchief.
Yeah.
exactly. I was gonna say it somehow evokes the scene where he coughs and shows a handkerchief full of blood. But like,
does he have tuberculosis?
it doesn't
get better.
Take an antibiotic.
This family does not have access to things. They don't know about boobs. They don't know about
Antibiotics.
so that's just a quick little like snippet into it. It's like, ooh, daddy's going down. Oh
guess.
no, why did I say that?
That's the name of the sequel, by the way. Prince and Me Too. Daddy's going down.
So next, Edward asks Julia for help with laundry because he's never done it before.
Right.
And
I
she
believe
says,
she-
on one condition, you got to help me with Shakespeare.
Oh, she also says, "I'm the Rain Man of Laundry,"
Yes, she does.
which is a terrible thing to say.
That also implies that she's good at one thing, laundry.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Is that an autism joke?
I guess.
Guess so.
It means that she's like super good at it.
Oh no,
but
right? Yeah.
Rayman
but-
was good at one
one
thing. And she was good
Yeah.
at two. Biology.
But she is not good at Shakespeare, and she needs
no.
Eddie's help.
Oh, her science brain can't comprehend the Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
And honestly, I love a romantic scene with like teaching and explaining Shakespeare. Like, I wanted to be this to someone.
Yeah.
They don't. Neither of them quite get Hamlet, though. Is the thing.
Were they
No.
doing Hamlet or a sonnet? Weren't they?
So
They
it's
do both. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they have to get in sort of the thing where she's like, I think Hamlet's sort of like a whiny prince loser. And then he was like, actually, Hamlet is very misunderstood. And they get to have this sort of like double
He's got
entendre
a cool
scene.
six-pack, and Denmark's really nice. He's got a speedboat.
Maybe
Prince
Hamlet-
of Denmark has a speedboat. Yeah.
Maybe all he wants is to see some boobs, and nobody's letting him see any boobs. Maybe if Gertrude would just show her boobs.
Fucking boat. Come on, Mum. I mean, Gertrude. I mean, Mum.
Like slow fade to black as she backs out of the room.
But when he's explaining the sonnet, that's like, okay, you gotta know that I saw this at first when I was an impressionable young teen. So, yes, a young youth. So this stuck with me. I was like, yep, this holds up. It's still romantic.
Yeah.
I want it.
I liked
Be
it.
that, no, I don't doubt that it's not romantic. The sonnet is. Hamlet is just like.
Oh, that's a wonky.
It's quite like a seventh grade Cliff Notes opposing view of Hamlet sort of thing. But the sonnet, yes, is
Oh,
is
yeah.
lovelier.
Oh, and I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying there's a part of me that is still a teenager that is like, yep, this is romance.
If you give me a handsome British guy reading a sonnet,
Yep.
That's
Count
fair.
me in.
Agree to agree.
I'm
then.
down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I wanted to teach someone Shakespeare in a romantic way. I was like, this is going to be my romantic scene.
He's also like fully equipped and prepared to teach Shakespeare in a very accessible way
Yeah.
immediately, which I'm like, that's impressive.
That's a good
I was
quality to have
impressed.
in a partner.
What if he had just been like, it's Lion King?
It's basically Lion King, and she's just like, oh.
Okay.
Oh, well, now I get it.
And then
And
he's
here's
like,
how you do laundry.
have you ever seen 10 Things I Hate About You? It's Taming of the Shrew. And she's like, oh my God.
Do your own fucking laundry.
So it's Thanksgiving time, which means everyone goes home. Mm-hmm. And her best friend, let's talk about this best friend. Do we
Yes.
know her name?
No.
I love her. She is like, for me, no, in the way that she's like the cliche best friend where she's always like, go get sex, girl. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Is she the one with the rich dad? Who's the one who's like, my dad doesn't have time to spend, doesn't have can't spend time with me, but he can buy me all this sweet
Is this
stuff.
your Prince and Me fan fiction? I don't
Oh, no, I get what
You
you're
know
saying.
what I'm talking
Because at
about.
the end,
She's
they
got
all
the Amex.
fund her
Yeah.
trip to Denmark.
There's a scene where there's like a girl with dark hair.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she's like, my dad doesn't spend time with me, but he got me like this TV and this like matryoshka
Right.
doll stack of
Yes.
VHS players.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. This is the friend who's rich.
Wow.
Is she the same friend who's engaged from the beginning? No.
I do not recall.
I think so, because it's supposed to be her best friend.
Right?
No, it wouldn't be because what happens next, she
Right.
goes to she says, hey, you should invite Edward home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And Julia Stiles says, no, I don't want to. And she says, well, do you mind if I do it? Which I couldn't tell if she was doing this.
Oh, it was a tactic.
I couldn't tell if was she doing it to get Paige to do it, or was she doing it because she really wanted? Because then,
In the
I don't know.
moment, I thought it was real, but then it kind of reveals itself that it was a tactic because of how happy she's
she's like smiling, kind of like,
Okay.
I knew that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
work.
But I thought it was kind of so she like goes up to like Paige is like, I'm not going to invite him, and then the girl starts walking up to Edward to invite him herself, and then Julia Stiles runs over and like tags in and invites him, and I was kind of like, well, what if your friend really did
Right,
like
yeah.
him? Like you kind of just like
Yeah.
that's kind of fucked up. But it was a tactic.
It was a tactic. So Edward goes home with Paige.
Paige.
To
Paige Morgan.
Paige Morgan.
Piers Morgan, am I right?
Yeah. Are you right? Is he right?
Ugh.
And then let's go to that montage of him trying to do dairy farming, because Julia Stiles' family in this movie are dairy farmers.
Yes.
It's so one time I went to spend, this is sort of tangential. I went to spend a week with my friend at his and his grandparents' beach house. And I was having a good time. And then near the end of it, the grandfather was like, all right, so Edward, you're going to mow the lawn today. And I was like, well, what? I don't work for you. This is sort of that where like he went home with her, and then the dad's like, cool, so we got another farmhand now.
And Julia was like, no, that's a bad idea. He's like, oh, I could do it.
No, you brought a guy home. That means he has to work for me for no pay on his vacation.
And then just chaos reigns as soon as he tries. But also,
Chaos.
like, it is hard to work on a farm.
It is.
Like, it's not just because he's a prince that he couldn't, like, wrangle a cow. like there's expertise that
Yeah.
goes into that.
It's the meat slicer all over again.
Exactly. You just put him in a pen with a bunch of cows, and you're like, get him.
Go ahead.
Get him together.
This is easy. Anyone can do this.
Well, also, I think so. I watched the movie
Yeah.
with my boyfriend who is from Wisconsin, and he was
great.
like, "This portrayal of people from Wisconsin is offensive. Like they're idiots, but they all work on in the background of every." I don't know how they did the backgrounds, if they were like CGI'd in or what, but there's just like a standalone cow in every single background.
So in one of the scenes, I swore I saw cardboard cutouts of cows.
I think they looked fake.
They looked like wooden standees of cows.
Yeah. And they're all just like bumpkins who don't know anything.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford cows. Like they ran out of money, and so they're like, oh, we got to get wooden standees of cows.
But I'm pretty sure in like one of the scenes where they're like driving to Paige's house that you just see like two wooden cutouts of cows.
I think in the background I saw like Soren painted as a cow. Musa.
So, but amongst the dairy farming chaos, we also get the lawnmower derby.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a garage of 3 like lawnmowers, and Eddie's like, oh, what are these lawnmowers?
They're like, yeah.
Yeah, they are. We race them. And he's like, oh, I can soup them up to make them faster, which I don't know much about cars, clearly, but aren't lawnmower engines and car engines, are they different? Or are they the same engine?
Lawnmower is like a is like, you pull the thing.
Yeah. But these seemed like they operated like go-karts.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
They were like big John Deere like ride lawn.
Yeah, right.
still,
Which
is
I
there-
have one like that, and not me personally. I live in Harlem.
I'm like,
but
where
like,
is it?
I keep it in our second bathroom. No, my mom has one, and I rode it, and it was a lot of fun. It makes a lot of noise. It's not like a car where it's like a
Right.
clean noise. It's like
One more time, what's the noise? Okay, I just want to make sure I
Like
got
it's
it.
here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But he can soup them up because he was a drag racer from the
Racer,
beginning.
and
so-
I guess they're also. Wait a minute. are Danish cars, are they built the same as American lawnmowers? There's all this research I have to do to... all right, okay, let's pause for a second, and I'm going to go do research about the differences, and I'll come back.
Okay. Okay, Edward, you're back. What'd you find?
They are exactly the same.
Okay, good. All right, so the movie checks out.
Yep.
Excellent. So he races with the brothers, like on their team as an individual.
I could not figure out
they had
how.
an extra.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how this worked.
Me
I also
neither.
couldn't tell if he also made their lawnmowers faster.
Right, yeah. I
Like,
don't
did
know.
he just make a lawnmower for himself faster and then race in the race, or did he also make their lawnmowers faster?
I don't know. I don't know. It was really, he was just like, I can fix that. And then it was like black. And then it was just like the race. And to the point where I didn't know he was racing until I like got a close up of him. I was like, oh, he's a spectator.
Yeah, the whole race scene was the opposite of exciting. if
It was
that makes
so
sense.
long.
Like, yeah, it was
Very
like
long.
I wasn't like, oh boy, I hope this rom-com has like a competition chase scene. That sucks.
Yeah, it was like 2 seconds in, you're like, oh, okay, he made the lawnmowers go fast, and then the scene is so long.
Yeah, we don't
There's
want
like
that.
an added rival character that we never see later,
No.
and you're just
So there's a rival character. Eddie wins the race. Someone punches him.
yes.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
He gets punched.
He gets punched, which leads us to they're in a barn. Julia and Edward, which I should say Paige and Eddie,
No.
are in a barn, and she's like icing his eye, right? And that's when they kiss.
Kiss me under
That's
the.
not always the song.
It is always the song. It's played underneath.
It's a
the
song I
actual
hear.
song. Yeah.
What tumor? Fun time.
Fun times. So they kiss, and then we're back at school.
Yeah, just like that. And they're in the
Just like that.
library.
They're in the library, which I remember this also. When the
Yes.
best friend, the
This
sex
scene
positive best friend,
Was
hold
fucking
on.
insane. That's all I wanted to
Yeah.
say. Go.
The sex positive best friend, who's always just trying to get her best friend laid, is talking about the stacks, which she's talked about before. She's like, which hot guy would you take to the stacks? And then she like writes it down. It's like, you guys should go to the stacks and like make out. You look like you really want to say something.
Oh no! I caught up in my notes, and I remember there's a line which is chemistry isn't just in the classroom, honey. Which is the best. It's a great line.
All of the best friends lines could be delivered by like a drag queen, and it
Yes.
would be 100. Like, absolutely. Like, well, if you don't want him, I'm taking him home.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's why I love this best friend character. She fulfills just like the role of the best friend in the
Yeah.
rom-com. It's like that's the one.
it.
Yeah.
But this movie is
yeah.
rated PG.
They go.
Is
to
it? This
big
scene was
out.
not rated PG.
No, and like also they're studying and they start like playing handsy under the
Yeah.
table, and I'm like, I mean, your friend is here. Like, she seems very down with what you guys are doing, but
Yeah.
like, she is here and she does have a book in front of her, and like, she is attempting to work.
I remember doing that exact same thing in college once. Like aggressive
went to the
hand holding.
stacks?
No. But like aggressive.
This was you just holding your own hand.
Yeah, it
just-
was me holding my own hand. No,
mushing 'em.
just like weird, aggressive, like across a desk hand holding. And so when I saw the scene, I was like, ugh.
Oh no.
So I had to go sit down in the corner.
So they go to like the back of the library,
They go to
which
the
I
stacks.
assume is the legendary stacks.
Which they each have rooms.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Yeah, but Soren and Xbox guy are there.
Yeah, Soren and Xbox.
So they're making out hard. His shirt comes off. They are having a good time, and then paparazzi flash. Lots of cameras. Boom, 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 boom.
An hour, 1 minute, and 14 seconds in.
I feel like we
There's
should
42 minutes left.
go back for a second, talk about how also what's going on at home in Denmark is a union busting like scheme that the government and the unions are like in a fight. And then there's a scene where like the king is giving a talk about the unions, and it cuts to this paparazzi who's like, this is boring. We should figure out where Edward is.
I missed that
always-
scene.
I missed
Yeah,
that.
because it is boring. It is very boring. The entire union plot line is unnecessary and bizarre, but there's this whole thing about unions.
Oh my God.
And trying to get the unions to work with the government.
And I like how the idea behind that is like, you know what our demographic is? Let's give them some stuff they're not going to understand.
Yeah, like this is I literally was watching this and I was like, there's a union busting plot line in this, and then the king is making like a speech because something is happening with the unions and it's going to cause a government shutdown. Like there's a lot that's happening politically.
At one point, I wrote, "What is this? The Phantom Menace?" Because remember in the prequels how they just like injected a bunch of weird political stuff,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like trade regulations and whatnot. Because that's what kids want anyway.
yeah. I guess they needed Edward to have his like thing that because then also her dad, the farmer, is
Yeah.
like. At the farm, he's like, when we all work together,
Yeah.
we do better. And Edward is able to then apply the lessons he learned on the
On the
farm
farm.
to the union situation.
Important.
Again, 13-year-old girls fucking love the union plot line.
We're like, yes, working union. Put your shirt back on and talk about that union.
Collective bargaining, yes.
How many hours do they have to work before they can take a 15?
So the Julia Stiles' page is obviously like feels super lied to. So she's super mad at him. Obviously, she feels lied to, and he's going about his regular school week, and the paparazzi are just like following him into class. I'm like, can they do that? Like, you need an ID to get into most class buildings.
True. I did feel like Julia overreacted a little
Me
bit. I mean,
too.
I understand not being upset that the paparazzi took pictures of you fucking in the stacks. That sucks. But I did feel like their relationship was so new that they were still in the window. Like, he still had a little bit of time to be like, I'm the Prince of Denmark.
Right.
And like, I didn't realize that we were going to be so serious and that we were going to fall in love. And like, I came here and I was kind of trying to be like low key. I felt like he still was in the window of time where he could have acceptably.
Yeah.
Did they say
Told her.
I love you yet, or had that? Does that happen?
No,
later?
because they had just kissed.
Right.
It was like they kiss and then we're back at
And
school.
then maybe
and
hadn't
the
done
stacks.
it yet, and
Yeah.
we're about
Yeah.
to maybe do it for the first time.
Yeah. So I just felt like he was still kind of within his time frame. to
Yeah,
tell
I
her.
agree with that. She got a little mad a little quick. So he has to go home because they say your daddy's too sick. So
You've seen his handkerchief.
You've seen his bloody handkerchief. You gotta come home. Which that doesn't happen. We're adding that in that he has tuberculosis.
He's got something.
But it
I don't
has
know.
the same like I feel like
Yeah.
it feels
It's
like,
very much like in Moulin Rouge where she's like, ah,
yeah.
and then like she has the bloody handkerchief.
Yes.
It's very
Mystery illness, movie illness.
So he goes back home. We cut to Julia Stiles, who is having her what I guess is like an oral exam on Othello for her Shakespeare
Yes.
class.
Yeah.
And it's in front of a panel in an auditorium.
I just
Of,
don't
like,
understand.
3
Like
people.
they're reading the sonnets and Hamlet and Othello, like
Yeah.
all at the same time.
The first. Semester
Yeah,
of college. I
we're
was
at
going to say week of
Thanksgiving.
college, but there was Thanksgiving.
We're at
Yeah.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
but that's still a lot.
That is a lot.
We're really tearing through.
For what I assume is like a gen ed Shakespeare class.
Right.
You know, not like a, 301 situation or like a advanced study.
No, they're not an advanced study.
Not with their knowledge of Hamlet. No.
A Shakespearean herald.
So somehow in her like talking about Iago and Othello, she realizes that she's like wrong and then starts like ranting about how she was wrong and wants to be with Edward and she loves him and she shouldn't have to like not be with him.
I love this convention of like rom-coms where the person is doing an assignment and they realize as they're giving the oral presentation that it's exactly applicable to their own life.
Yeah, she has like an epiphany.
Yeah.
I want there to be a movie where they like really force it. Like she's like, wait a minute, Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. Yes, leaves. He left. Now I must be the grass. I don't know.
Yes.
I just want them to force it one day.
I want-
Walden.
I wanted her to be like, yes, I too smothered my wife with a pillow.
Which, wait, was she comparing herself to the wife?
I think she was comparing herself to Desdemona. No, that can't
No,
be
I think
right.
she's Othello.
She's Othello.
So
'Cause
she
she's like-
murdered Edward because she thought that he was
Or is,
cheating on
and
him.
who's Iago in this?
The best.
Soren.
Yeah, he knows he's a villain.
Yeah, the entire connection like kind of doesn't make any sense. Like,
none at all.
Neither does this film, so it's
No.
fine.
It all
works
felt
out.
rushed, and it felt like we needed one more scene of like her with the friend or something, or her talking to a family member to be
Yeah.
like, maybe I like him, and then have the epiphany. It felt like there wasn't enough like movie mourning. But part of the reason for that is something I'm going to mention in a few minutes. So let's keep going.
Please, sure,
Okay,
yes.
so she is like, I gotta go to fucking Denmark now. So again, gets all her friends together. They like give her different credit cards. She manages to fly to Denmark. She ignores her acceptance letter to John Hopkins. Like she doesn't even know it's
Like
there.
it drops on the floor and it
Yeah.
says like, "We are pleased to."
yeah.
Yeah, which I'm like, if you just look at the letter, you can have a really good day. You go to Denmark, and you'll know you got into your
I
dream
have to get to
school.
Denmark. I cannot read a letter.
Like if
Take
you
it
just
with you.
if you just read it, you'd have
Plain
an
reading.
extra good day because she goes to Denmark. She like he's like riding a horse in a parade or
Yes.
something, and she manages to like get to the front, and everyone in the crowd recognizes her from the paparazzi photos. So they all say, "Paige, what's her name?"
Paige Morgan.
They're all
They also call her
shouting
Paige
it.
Morgan.
Oh, Paige Morgan.
Paige Morgan.
And he turns around on his horse. And he
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
trots over to her. She hops on the back of his horse, and they gallivant off together into the day.
I love the entire like that she gets on the horse and then they're just like riding around Denmark and he's going pretty fast and like everyone's like Paige Morgan.
He turns around and is like, I don't know how to ride a horse. This is, we're going to get super hurt.
They're both like flopping around.
Like there was clearly a procession that was happening and then he just like goes rogue and starts like riding his horse all over the city.
But then he has to go to that like parliament meeting
Yes.
to like open it, and he just like runs in, and he's like, "Wait here," runs in, like slaps the gavel down, and is like, "We can start now," and he's like, "Okay," and then runs out with
Yeah,
her.
he's like, I declare this session of Parliament open. And then he runs, and me and my boyfriend decided that that was genuinely funny.
Me too. I wrote down funny bit.
Yeah, we were like,
And then-
honestly, this part was funny.
And then they get to like the I almost called it the cabin, but that's not true. Where to the
castle?
Castle. They get to the castle, and she says, "Oh no, you didn't tell me you live with your parents."
So funny.
And I wrote, "Wow, 2 dynamite lines in a row." Those were both super funny.
Yeah, I was like, they should have just gotten to Denmark way
Way
faster and started
Boy,
hitting
should
us
they
with
have.
these fun Denmark
Well,
bits.
Because
Yeah.
that's my note that I wanted to bring up is that, you know, we're going to talk about it more, but it's not like the movie wraps up here. There's a lot more
No.
movie. This
Yeah.
was 2 movies.
This was
That's how I
40
felt.
minutes. There were 40 minutes left.
This was Grindhouse. Yeah.
I felt like I was like, it is 2 movies because I felt like the movie is either that she finds out that he's a prince. Once she finds out that he's a prince, she decides to stay with him, whatever we see that. Or it's like she finds out at the beginning that her boyfriend is a prince and being in Denmark is the whole movie.
Exactly.
Right,
But we,
right.
It's like
we got
even.
both.
It's like a split.
And you know
Yeah.
what? I think it felt a little rushed at times, but for what it was, I think they didn't do a bad job of
Yeah.
fitting both in.
No.
No, yeah.
Which let's get into that. She's here now, and he's like, well, my dad's gonna die and I'm gonna have to be king, so if I'm gonna be king, I won't do it unless I can marry her. And you know, with fighting, I guess they accept it, and he proposes to her.
And they just kissed at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right?
And she says yes, which I didn't remember this. I remembered so many things. Like the meat slicer scene, I remembered a very specific line where they're like dancing, and he's like, "Oh, they're playing our. I'm gonna have them play our song," and she's like, "We have a song. We have a song." I remember that
yeah.
very specific
Because it's
line.
like they have 2 experiences together.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I got you a meat slicer because of the one thing we've ever done. Like,
Also, wait, what's happening in that deli/bar? 2 of their workers are gone.
That kid's like, I just want a turkey sandwich.
She says yes, which this I had to like actually stop and talk to Zach during the movie because I was like, they've made it her character that she would never say yes. And she immediately says yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, career first, like, this is my life. I don't want to like fall victim to like settling down.
But I guess, if she's on a whirlwind trip to Denmark.
Sure.
She's in the palace.
Yeah.
She just rode on this horse.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
He gets down on one knee and there's like a butterfly that like comes out of her
Right?
leg.
That was cool.
That
smooth.
was cool.
Yeah.
Me and Danny were like, that's my boyfriend. We were like, did a butterfly come out of the ring or what happened?
What's
what was the
going on?
mechanics of that?
That was like the Asia O'Hara reveal in Drag Race.
No, but you can
Oh,
describe
yes.
it.
Yeah.
I know what you're
butterflies
talking
did
about.
not live.
But
That was
successful.
sad, yeah. That was unfortunate.
So now Paige is going around and she's like, really, the people really like her. She's like being nice to kids, and the mom's not about that. The queen is like, well, everyone missed about talking about the hospital opening because you were being nice to kids, and she was like digging soil really well.
Yeah.
And
She's
everyone
Princess
just likes-
Diana-ing.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is Diana-ing. She's like princess of the people. Everyone loves her, and all of a sudden, Edward is like good at being royal.
because
Yeah.
of the lessons he learned on the farm.
Yeah.
The one.
Now he's like, I'm really good at this and I want to do this. I don't want to go drive cars and look at Wisconsin boobs. I've learned so much.
I don't care if I never see a boob. Still haven't.
Maybe one day.
So they're like dancing. That's the We Have a Song. Oh, we have a song thing. And he plays the old low voiced country song again. And this and this felt like very out of left field when she was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
She's just like in a room alone, like at a beautiful ball, and
Oh.
he left for a second to go talk to
For
other
a second.
royalty.
If that, I think he was like talking with his dad and
Yeah.
then some government people, maybe
Yeah.
to like secure a deal actually.
And
to,
all
like,
of a sudden,
finalize a deal.
and all of a sudden
Yeah.
she was like, yeah, you know what? That's the last straw.
Can't have
she's
this
like,
politics stuff going
I
on.
actually still want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
For Doctors Without Borders, because
Yes.
that's part of her dream.
Yes.
Because there's that part where he sees her map of all places she wants to go, and he's like, "Why would you want to go to Africa?"
yeah.
And she's like, "I don't know."
boobs in Africa.
There are no Wisconsin boobs.
It's like she's like, Ecuador. That's not a vacation spot. And she's like, "Yeah, I want to be a doctor and like go to Ecuador." And he's like, "Crazy."
So
Wild.
they break up, and then he's doing like king stuff, and there's a big crowd, and she's just in plain clothes in the crowd. I'm
Which
like,
we've already
how?
established that the people love her.
They
right?
know her and love
Yeah.
her.
Because last crowd, everyone was like, Paige Morgan.
Yeah.
And that was like because she had been in one picture. Now she's like literally been the queen for a day.
More famous. She must be.
I like how the crowd wasn't enough people. Like
wasn't
It
huge.
was his coronation, and there were maybe 40 people there. That's all. I just wrote, everyone in Denmark is at the coronation, all 23 of them.
And he did fix the problem with the unions.
Oh, yes.
He
Because
did.
of his farm.
because of the
farm.
his
he's
knowledge
like,
from the farm.
I actually learned that we should work together. And the unions are like, oh my God. And the parliament is like, I get it now. And then they start working together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. She leaves, and it's very sad. And it cuts to her graduation.
Didn't he? Okay. Yeah. No, we're good. Yeah. Go.
Yeah. And it cuts to her graduation, and we're like, okay, here we are again. And then all of a sudden, he shows up.
She's like, oh my God, it's you.
Whoa, what are the odds? Hey, Tyler. And he's like, what? No, Eddie. Eddie.
Actually, he says, "Thou art as wise as thou art beautiful,"
Yeah.
as his greeting. Yeah.
He's like,
Definitely not a real Shakespeare
like
line,
a-
I feel.
Yeah.
like
I
a
don't know.
college theater kid who's always like, oh, hello there, milady.
Yes. Yes.
He's like always singing next to normal in the
Asking
hall.
people to come over to watch movies in his
Right.
dorm. And it's like, no, fuck, we don't want to.
It's like, have you guys seen Monty Python? Yes. Yes, Eddie have. Everyone's seen it, Eddie.
Well, the lady doth protest too much, methinks.
The Ministry of Silly Walks. And we're just like, Eddie, stop.
Yeah. He's like, anyone want some sriracha? It's like, fuck off.
Give that to you. Anyway,
So then this ending feels insanely quick, where he's just like, I'll wait as long as I need to. You need to, do
like,
your thing and
go
be a
to
doctor.
medical
But I
school.
also want to marry you still, and we're gonna do that. And she's like, yeah, we're gonna do that.
Cut to black.
And then they kiss, and that's it. And no questions are answered. It's basically, yeah, they're gonna get married again.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she said no to like a few months ago.
There's no it solved the issue in no way.
Are they gonna have a long distance marriage? Is she gonna be a working queen?
Yeah, is she
Right?
gonna be a doctor? Like, because it sounds like you can't.
I feel like you can't be the queen and be a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Dr.
Well,
Queen.
yeah,
that's a
sounds
show.
sick.
once you marry
That's a pilot.
royalty,
Yeah.
once you marry royalty, you have to like give up your
Yeah.
like working life. Like Meghan Markle's not going to be in movies anymore.
No.
She's not
Wouldn't that
allowed
be
to.
Great? And wouldn't like being the director and being like, "Ooh, sorry, Princess Meghan, could you do it again?"
every person
Highness?
in the UK would go see all the movies, though, so they would.
Yeah.
They do well.
Oh, they do well. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Does she want to be in? What was the joke we just made? This is bad radio.
Dr. Queen.
Dr. Queen.
Does she want to be in Dr. Queen?
Hey.
There it is.
Zip,
Maybe
zap,
Dr.
zap.
Queen is like a Hannah Montana thing where she like is the queen and then she like switches.
She's got the face mask, and so nobody can.
Yeah.
And it's like by day she's a doctor, by night she's the queen, or by day she's the queen, and by night she's a doctor.
Night
depending-
doctor.
Dr. Night Queen.
Whoa! Those are the transitions from Hannah
I
Montana.
know.
Okay,
No,
you
yeah,
were just
yeah,
waiting for me to be done.
By day she's in the ballroom, by night she's in the emergency room.
She's always just like wired. She's bad at both jobs.
She's like running to a ball in like a beautiful gown with blood all over it. Well, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
They made 3
Unsatisfying
more.
to me.
Yeah, and the thing is, I really like enjoyed the ride, but the the end, they solved nothing.
I liked watching it.
Yeah, I
Like-
had a
Yeah.
good time.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
Well, except for like some of the middle parts, like the race.
The race was bad.
Yeah.
A lot of the farm stuff, I was just like,
If I were
whatever.
younger and I watched this like at night on Disney Channel or something, just like after middle school, that would be a really good Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Does
Sure.
that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
this is just
Yeah.
chill out, relax.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you just got out of the bath, so you're like drying off on your couch, and you're
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
So as far as I know,
gotta go take.
as far as I know, Julia Stiles still lives in New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen her.
Yes.
I have laid eyes upon her
Where?
in this city. So I used to work at a gym that had a pool, and she would come to the gym and swim in the pool.
Okay.
So Travis, this is my best friend Travis, worked at David's Tea, and she would come in like a few times a week, and they were like buds.
That's awesome.
What?
Yeah.
Where? I just
In Chelsea, on like the
okay.
23rd Street one or
I was
something like
wondering
that.
what Julia Stiles can afford.
Yeah.
Chelsea money. All right.
Chelsea Tea.
It's a mid-range to expensive gym, I
Okay,
would say.
cool.
It's not Equinox.
Is it
but-
the one that's under Chelsea Market?
No,
Or-
it's actually not really near the David's Tea, which is like I can't really triangulate where Julia is.
So you can't say her day was like, I'll go for a swim and get some tea after.
Right,
Because,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
we're going
Who
down
knows?
to the
Unless
Lower East
she's, like,
Side. I don't really
walking,
understand.
a lot. You never know.
And we're back.
So we're gonna rate this out of 0 to 5 wooden standy cows.
Let's rate this puppy. The chemistry between the two leads.
I'm 3.5.
3.5
I know
for
it
Zach.
feels a little high, but compared to a lot of other movies we do. But I thought it was strong. Like,
I'm gonna go with
They're-
a 3.
I was going to say
yeah.
3.
Yeah.
I was going to say 3 standy cows.
they're-
I wasn't wowed by their chemistry,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed. They had some sexy moments.
their
Yeah.
flirting felt good.
Their flirting was good.
nice.
Yeah.
I feel like Julia Stiles is just like a really like strong flirter because
Yeah.
she's so sassy. It's like, oh, when she warms up, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like one of those people who it's like, ooh, I want you to smile. Like I want to make you smile because you have such a nice like friendly presence. you know?
I feel
just
like
love her.
you could save her family from a burning building, and it would only get you so many points.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, she's hard to please.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you on a 3.5, Zach. I was really feeling it. I was thinking 4. I don't know if I should give it to them though. Is that too
don't know.
high?
I don't know. It's just
This is
your
on
choice.
you. You make your bed.
I'm gonna go 4. You know what?
Oh,
my
my
God.
God.
I felt good about it. You,
You know
know,
what?
we've
I'm-
seen a lot of trash lately, so this felt really good.
I'm gonna say that that might be our first 4 in the category of chemistry since we started this podcast.
I think it is.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
Okay, best friends, the best friend roles, which in this case I believe is the nameless girl who just wants Julia Stiles to have sex.
Yeah.
And
Soren.
Soren.
In which case I
Oh.
loved these roles.
Yeah, these were really good.
Yeah.
I could have seen more of Lady Best Friend,
Yeah.
or at least learned her name.
Yeah.
Why can't we figure it out?
Maybe gotten a little bit more from her, but Soren, very well
Bravo.
defined
Yeah.
character
for
there.
Funny,
Yeah.
good role model. Not a good role model. Oh my god.
I'm going to show my kids this movie and say, do as Soren does.
Soren does.
I
Be
meant,
a man
I meant to say he's a good friend.
Like moral compass?
Yes, he's a good
Sort of
moral compass.
conscious.
Yeah, he's there for Eddie. Both of the friends are really there for their people, and they're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go 4 just because I feel like I did want to know the girl's name, and I did want to see a little bit. There were some confusing moments with her, and I needed her to be more defined for it to get up to 5, but I did like them.
I think I'm going to join you on a 4 as well. I just thought like they did their jobs. Like
Yeah.
when we were creating this rating scale, that's what I was thinking when I thought we got to rate the best friends in it. I was thinking like these kind of roles.
I'm going to go 3.5, just a little under. Soren disappears in the last third of the movie, as does the friend, of course. It'd be crazy if her role got bigger once they went to Denmark.
She becomes Soren.
So because they sort of took a back seat toward the end, I thought, like, there's a scene where Soren says, like, don't worry, I'll be by your side the whole time while Julia Stiles is learning Queen stuff.
Yeah.
And then the Queen says, Soren, leave, and Soren, like, bounces. It's a very funny moment, but I would have liked to see just a little more sincerity in, like, his role. Now he's both of their friend, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't get that exactly. So still great.
And I do feel like the pinnacle of the best friend trope is that the best friends fall in love as well.
Right.
I
You're
feel
right.
like that's at like sort of the peak level
Could
is that
you-
the funny best friends get together
you
as well.
imagine?
Could you imagine?
If Soren
Yes.
and Rich Friend got together, I would love it.
That'd be so good.
Actually, yeah, I would love that.
That'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
He's
Maybe
a
in
little
one
too
of the
old
3
for her,
sequels.
but I'd be okay with that. Yeah. How about you?
I'm also going to go with a 3.5.
Great.
If only because, kind of what Zach said, and sort of disagreeing with you in that these are almost the people I envision when I envision the best friend in a romantic comedy. Unfortunately, the friends in like What Happens in Vegas are kind of more what I think about when I think about like best friends.
Yeah.
Like really weird like characters. And these guys were great, but
Yeah.
they weren't like capital C characters.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, girl, the female friend needed like a little more of like a thing.
Yeah, like she's
Yeah.
almost like always carrying a Mai Tai or something.
Yeah.
It's like, hey.
Because Soren clearly had a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And
right.
her thing was not as much there, I
Sure.
felt.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. And the romance. Like, so this is different than chemistry in this is the actual, like, written romance. Like, the scenes they gave us. The scenes that were provided. Were they romantic? How did you feel?
So we've got Meat Slicer.
Meat Slicer. We've got
Shakespeare.
him watching her dance. We got
Yes.
Shakespeare scenes.
First kiss in the barn.
First kiss in the barn. Lots of these moments.
Honestly, good. A lot of good moments.
I think they're good moments. And maybe that's just me thinking on it from when I was young, thinking it was romantic.
I think they hit the romance pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be honest. It was good. It was good, but there was, I think that it fell short again toward the end for me because it was like, oh,
Yeah, the end was nothing.
she runs to him in Denmark. Oh, he comes to her here. But it was sounded more like tell instead of show in terms of at the
Yeah.
end when he
Yes.
was like, well, we'll be together. It's fine. There was no, if there was some kind of really clever like proclamation that he did something or made
Right.
some arrangement or something and told us what that was specifically, I would give it a higher rating.
Yeah.
But it sounded like two kids who didn't know what they were doing trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to give it a 2.5, you know, a nice half, because you're right, Zach. A lot of it felt like, some of the romantic moments felt like they were going through the motion so that they could get to the next plot point. Like the Othello thing felt rushed. The ending where she's like, I don't want you, but I do, felt like rushed. So yeah, while some of the moments were really nice, there were others that were like, you didn't really try to
It was like
explain that it's happening.
the first movie. How we said it's like 2 movies.
Yeah.
Right.
The first movie, I thought the romance was great.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
But then
a really good
the
assessment.
second movie, She Goes to Denmark, is what we'll call it, was
And a butterfly
Yeah,
comes out of
Yeah,
a thing.
butterfly
That was
comes out of
it.
the ring.
So I'm also going to 2.5. It wasn't bad. First movie was better, though. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think 2.5 is right, and I agree that like it just kind of all of the good romantic moments are in the beginning, and then once
In
she
Wisconsin.
gets to Denver, it's Denver. When they go to Denver,
This whole time
she
he was
gets
lying.
to Denmark, I feel like it gets all hodgepodge together.
too quick. I'm gonna go 3 just because that feels more even to me. Maybe I just believe the first movie is strong enough to raise that half point. The comedy. Did you give a score?
2.5 for
Yes,
for
2.5,
romance.
2.5, 2.5, 3. Comedy.
I'm going with a 2.
2.
This was a consistent for me.
Yeah,
Very few ha 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 ha.
2 sounds right because I don't think it was meant to be hysterical,
And it was not.
and it was not.
yeah, 2.
There were also, and of course this was of the times, but there were also a few, like there were some gay jokes in there. There were some. You can't totally be racist towards Danish people, but there were some like, that guy's a cheap Swede, sort of, I think was a line.
Oh God.
So there was some humor at the expense of others. So 2, where it didn't age well, some of the comedy.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
I felt like they didn't like. They set up certain characters to be like there was funny potential, like Xbox.
Yeah.
You didn't see anything from Xbox.
Yeah.
You got this big guy. He's like clearly there to be a contrast to the prince. I feel like we
Right.
could have gotten some fun.
Yeah.
He does give that big monologue where he's like, "Don't touch my things. My Xbox is right here.
Yeah.
You can't have any of my Hot Pockets. Linkin Park posters on the wall."
He does.
He's from Boston.
He also teaches. He lets Soren play the Xbox
Right.
at one point.
Right.
And
Oh,
they
yeah,
come
that
home
was
and Soren is
funny.
playing the Xbox.
That was a good
funny,
comedic
'cause
moment for Soren.
Soren
Yeah.
didn't go to Thanksgiving, so then
Right.
when he got back to college for Thanksgiving, he was obsessed
He
with the
was obsessed
Xbox.
with-
That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just felt like that character, there was more to be had
Yeah, we
with
could
him.
have had more. It was like all of the, I guess, like kind of like meat and potatoes, all the fun stuff that the person writing this script thought was maybe not that funny. It was like he probably thought it was going to be hysterical watching the prince do farm work or watching the prince
Yeah.
work a meat slicer, and it was all like, no, he's not good at this because anyone would be bad at this on their first day.
Yeah, like none of it was like, it's not like he's bad at this because he's a prince. He's bad at this because he's not a professional farmer.
The writer's like an expert on the meat slicer and on farms, and he's like, if anyone can't do that, they must be morons.
Both are dangerous jobs that you have to be trained in. Cows, like if a cow steps on your foot's broken.
Yeah.
And meat slicers, you could slice your hand off.
Parliament is
Comedy.
now open was funny though.
That was
That
good.
moment,
That was
that
funny.
was the funniest moment.
Yeah, that was very funny,
That-
and I think about it.
That and Oh No,
sometimes.
You Live With Your Parents. 1-2 punch of
Yeah.
straight up comedy. Whoever
I also like Soren making the eggs in the
Right,
when
that
he
was-
was
yeah.
cooking the meal in the dorm. That was
someone
nice.
punched up this script with some nice moments.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody was like, I mean, I don't even know what the fuck this is about. But
So
I guess we'll have the butler make some eggs.
But where's the third bed? No. He'll make it.
No.
Are
Let's,
you having eggs Benedict in your dorm? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. Let's add these up and see what our score is. See how many wooden standy cows this gets.
So we've added them all up, and this film gets 11.75 wooden cow standees. Congratulations.
That's a whole field of cows.
I really thought it was going to be a higher score, but it is a good one considering a lot of the trash we've watched.
Yeah. How does that rate on compared to the other ones that we've seen? You don't have to read
Pretty
them out,
high,
but,
pretty high. Wow, really high considering whatever we watched that was 1.5.
oh my god.
I think I know what that was, and I think it's a future episode, so
We won't
I'm not going to
say.
say. So, Elise, thank you again for being here.
This was so fun. Thank you for
very funny.
having me.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Tell the people where to find you.
Oh gosh, I got a website. It's alisemorales.com, and you can find out all the dates for upcoming Roast of Your 15-Year-Old Self, if we're coming to any cities near you there. And then I'm at Elise Navidad on Twitter and at Pandalise on Instagram. I haven't merged the handles.
all good.
It'll
It's
be
all
a
right.
moment when you do.
Someday.
Yeah, so thank you again. For everyone here at the Meet Cute, I'm Zach.
I'm Haley.
I'm Eddie P.
Stay British.
Stay Danish. All right, we gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta go. Bye.